Let's do the discussions on AM Talk. I have in the studio the Member of Parliament for Dade Kotopong here in the Greater Accra region. He's also a member of the NDC, a one-time Minister of Agriculture in charge of fisheries. Okay, that's it?
Deputy Minister.
Oh, I thought Minister, all the same.
Okay.
I didn't want to, because you're not on... Ni Amasana Mwale. Thanks for joining me this morning. Kingsley Abuaji Jedu is a member of Parliament for Bibiani and Ranso Bekwai in the Western region. He's also a member of the MPP. Thanks for joining me this morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, we hope to have a fantastic. Okay, I'm looking forward to a brighter day as always. And let's start the discussion. The Finance Minister has indicated government will no longer increase salaries of public sector workers automatically across board, and that is the current situation. This is because we have a ballooning wage bill, and this government has blamed as the cause of the current difficulties also the country is facing as far as public expenditure is concerned. But we have had a former Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Antonia Kutuose, arguing that the current wage bill was unsustainable, and we should defer further payment of the single spine pay policy, and negotiation for retrenchment might also begin now. And I have to ask you, Mr. Amasa.
The question you want me to comment on?
Yes,
what?
The minister's announcement.
Oh yeah, you see, we all know that we have challenges in the wage bill, the implementation of single spine. Even Dr. Agutuose even was saying that the current wage bill is unsustainable. Government has done all its best to make sure that you're able to balance his books, by seeing that it is very, very difficult. So this is something that is floating for us to discuss and debate in the system to know which way to go to make sure that our economy becomes healthy.
Now, Mr. Jedu, when it comes to the subject of the public sector workers, they seem to have been used to a certain pattern of increments and some level of wage allocation, so to speak. This is going to be a change in trends.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to viewers all over the world, especially those from Bibiani and Ranso Bekwai and the Western region in general. I think whenever we discuss this issue of wage bill not sustainable, is hurting the economy, I fail to understand. Because I am an accountant. Even in my small firm, I will not sit down and increase somebody's wages or salaries without putting it in a plan, seeing the effect of this increment on the profitability of the business. So, and this government had all the opportunities in the world. They had at least 1 year. Don't forget that this SSS policy was supposed to have taken effect from January 2009. They pleaded with you and I, Ghanaians, that look, we have just taken over a government, a policy that has been initiated by previous government. We don't understand. We need time to study it. We need time to prepare so that we can implement it well. Ghanaians say, yes, we side with you. Go ahead, have 1 full year to study the policy before you implement it. Even the TUC accepted this publicly. So if you are given 12 months to study a policy, the people who actually initiated it were not dead, they are still alive. You had the opportunity to call them. All you did was to change everybody at the whatever commission and committee that they were on. Brought your own people, went ahead, you came to tell Ghanaians that are now ready to implement the policy. You go ahead to implement the policy, and now you turn around after 4 or 5 years to come and tell us that the policy is hurting the economy. I mean, a first year student of accounting or economics will not understand this.
Okay.
You couldn't have implemented it without measuring the effect and then trying to find control measures before you go ahead to implement such a major policy.
Now, for every entity, you have your balance sheet, you have your cash flow or whatever it is, your P&L at the end of the period, etc. And you even have your budget and you have your line items. So, well, whatever expenditures you'll be making, it has an impact on profitability.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, how much you spend on wages and other overhead costs also has an impact on profitability.
Yeah.
And we know you a prominent accountant. As far as we're concerned, is it not a possibility that if you spend in excess a lot more, especially on public sector wages, as we have in the running or administration of government, it could have an impact negatively on expenditure?
How can you spend in excess? You track the expenditure. So how can you spend in excess? You do a budget. If you know that I'm expecting 100,000 for the first quarter, and the 100,000 is not realized by the end of the quarter, why do you go ahead and spend the 80,000 that you were supposed to
but
spend?
Realistically, we've seen overruns, and some of those overruns also have been that untimely. During the year, we've had worker agitations. Now, particularly, they've been linked to the single spine pay policy, because some category of workers have had increments, others have not had. Some of them have embarked on strikes. Some of them have threatening, and especially when they involve in sexual services, government has no hand than to pay them. And all these constitutes the overruns we're talking about, Mr. Accountant.
It's very true that there has been overruns, or the what you're talking about in terms of people agitating for. But why do they go ahead to agitate for those increment? Because they've seen their brothers here enjoying better than them.
That is why I want us to put the discussion in perspective.
That's all. They've seen government spending on unnecessary things, government spending on dubious judgment debt. If somebody comes along, oh, let's sit down and negotiate, we negotiate and I pay you money for no work done. And then if I sit down
it's not as simple as that, is it?
It is as simple as that. I mean, the worst part of it is the super info, whatever deal that was done recently.
That's just
we have several
that's
examples.
just belittling the point.
It is not belittling, my brother. We are talking about 74 million, 747 billion old currency. But it's not a trivial amount. It can pay so, it can do so much for the country. Look at the GDP, over 200 million being wasted there. Go to SADA. I mean, please, if I am a worker and I see all this waste happening in the economy, and you tell me that I'm tighten my belt and I can't have increment, I won't agree to it.
Well, you see, these are some of the things that we always say, that the MPP will always like to parrot. You know, all of them will be saying the same thing, like school children in the class saying their recitation. You know, they keep parroting. We are discussing something that is affecting the economy. And we are talking of, if you don't have the money, why do you overspend? Here is a government that, after 1 year of studying everything over the single spine, our development partners were supposed to balance our budget by 40% since 2012.
Those receipts have not been coming.
They have not been coming. So definitely, you have to use your own money to make sure that you balance the 100%. You know, that's the reason why we're having some challenges in spending. So
that's not the only reason why.
That's part of the reason why we're having overrun in spending. Then also, when we come to the judgment debt, we have a sole commissioner working on it now. Why don't you wait? If you are not in favor of the sole commissioner, come out like how you have been doing press conferences to say, oh, the sole commissioner is bogus, we don't want to listen to him. Here is a sole commissioner that the president has put in place to make sure that they investigate and come out with recommendations as to the way forward. So all what I'm saying is that the NDC is being transparent to tell you what actually is happening. The MPP is just behaving like the ostrich, and
now let's forget about the politics, the two of you. Now let's come to the substantive of the matter. Mr. Namwali, the subject is the finance minister says, well, we have in estimation over 600 or just a little over 600,000 public sector workers. We spend a lot more on them, and that's realistic. We have to be true to ourselves. He is also announcing that currently there's not going to be across-the-board increments, but only based on whatever output and also based on whatever assessment has been or appraisal has been undertaken within a particular year. That it will be a concern for the public sector workers. There could be some repercussions or reprisals. Do you think that government is ready to deal with them? Looking at how, as president, we've dealt with other agitations of
That's
workers.
why government says it's going to engage labor to see how best we move forward to implement this suggestion or this plan that they have put in place to implement. You see, government has been faithful and truthful in telling Ghanaians that this is the plan that I have, so that workers will know that this is what is coming, so that they will also be able to engage their labor leaders. That okay, we accept it or when you go this way, say this. So it's a matter of government will be transparent and has floated this thing. We are going to discuss it, debate it, and see how best it will make our economy healthy. Because if our economy is bad, you and I are going to suffer. So if there is something that we have to do, that you are a father in the house or a father and a mother, a parent in the house, and you know the budget, that these are some of the things that you people have been doing, and then we make sure, okay, let us put the fridge off, let us put the deep freezer off, and then we take that money to do. So, well, I have to put my cheese in the freezer and all this. Yes, you put it in the freezer, but let's put it off for about a certain number of time. So this is something that government has floated, that we are all going to discuss it. The government is going to engage labor to make sure that things move forward in the right direction. We have to put politics aside and see to the health of our economy.
Mr. Jedu, which one is more appropriate? You come to make an announcement before you go and do consultation, or you try and do some lobbying and create a consensus before you come to make a public announcement?
Oh, I can assure you that the consultation has started.
My brother.
That one, I'm sure of, that the consultation has started.
Mr. Jedu's question.
This thing is too little, too late.
Meaning what?
Nowhere in this world do you propose to increase people's salary without tying it to productivity, especially in a system where...
Why is it too late when it was going to be done?
After how many years have we run the SSS policy before we are now thinking of appraising people before you promote them? Virtually, that is what it means. I don't think in your organization here, they will promote you or they will increase your salary without necessarily assessing your performance. It must be the whole concept of the SSS was performance based. Yes, if you are a graduate and you enter the civil service at the same time, whether you are in the petroleum industry or you are at the information ministry, once you are performing, you should be, be having the same salary. That is the concept of it. Why have we left that one for 5 years? Before now, we are turning back to go and tell them that, oh, this time around, we are not going to have automatic adjustment.
Okay, so it's been,
so for me, I will,
so it's been late in coming. And
it is very late in coming.
And so what happens?
I don't think,
so it shouldn't be done?
It can be done. No, it should be done. I will support it. I don't think the workers will necessarily agitate against this. If it is fair and they are aware that, look, my performance is going to be assessed and my next jump is going to be based on my performance. If there's an objective, and every HR person will tell you that performance should always be transparent. You should know that this and these are my goals for the year. If I'm able to achieve them, I get this jump. If I don't achieve them, I don't get it. No worker can agitate against this. But if you hide it and you promote somebody because he's your party man, or because he's the nephew of the president, or because he's related to the chief executive, then other workers will agitate.
What do you mean? The public sector workers necessarily are not party people, are they?
Oh, but are they not Ghanaians? Don't they vote?
Yes.
Are you not aware of the people who are being appointed?
Mr. Jedu, I just want us to put our discussions in context so that as far as we're trying to do the discussions, we try to leave out the little bit of politicking out of it. So we do a dispassionate discussion on the subject because the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission collaboration, according to the announcement also, with the central management agencies, will be working out a national forum to provide a roadmap for an eventual rollout of the public service-wide performance management monitoring and evaluation system. That's what we call it.
It means that the concept has not even been developed.
No, it's been developed.
There's no system. They've made the announcement before they are thinking of actually consulting with the people who are going to be stakeholders.
That's a question
of the policy. And that is bad. You see, one thing about planning is that if the people who are going to be involved in the implementation, those who are going to be affected by the policy are not involved,
evolution,
they cannot own it. And once they can't own it, you are sure that they will vote against it.
It means you not get the consensus.
Yes.
In it.
I mean, the finance minister came to Parliament last year at the announcement of the budget to say that there's a freeze on public sector wages. I told everybody, I think there was a program in your organization, I said it was not going to work. Because by that time, you are not obtained the consent of the workers. You can't just unilaterally come and announce such a policy without consultation.
Mr. Namwale, in all dealings with various publics, and we know that the state or government deals with various publics, that is various entities in its daily management. Is it not crucial, especially when you're representing people, you're for the people, you do a lot more consultations on policies, and especially this very important policy aside.
You see, my brother, this is what government is doing. You see, my brother is just trying to bring.
Well, we do understand that.
But let's just talk about
because
what actually is that.
I'm asking this because this is very sensitive.
Yes, this is exactly what the government is doing. That the plan that I have, this is the roadmap that I have, and I want us to discuss it. So if the roadmap is not right, or let's say there's something that you have to add on, or something that you have to remove, we do it. So you want to say that one government has a plan, you shouldn't tell anybody. Just call the stakeholders into a certain corner and then discuss it in the dark. No, we are in a democracy. So let government come out openly to say that this is a challenge that we have, this is a roadmap that we have. So let all stakeholders come in and then we discuss it. So that's exactly what we are doing. You see, but my brother is not understanding, or he just refuses to understand because he thinks the thing must be done in the dark. So before it is done in the dark, they will come out and say, okay, we have discussed with stakeholders, and then that's so okay. Then what is wrong with what government is doing? Government is trying to engage people, and he's trying to inform Ghanaians because government has the mandate, the party or the government has the mandate of the people. So if you tell them, oh, this is what I'm going to do, so I'm going to engage stakeholders for you to discuss it. So if you have any idea, like if you have a very brilliant idea, go and give it to your, if you're a member of the TUC or whatever labor this that you belong to, go and give it to them so that they will also come. When they come to the round table, they will understand exactly what to do. But if we just go call the labor leaders and then go and hit somewhere and then discuss it and then come out, the people will not have their input.
Well, we do understand. We're trying to get in touch with some labor experts and ask them whether that's the right way to go. Do we envisage that? I'm asking this very question because workers and worker groups or unionized groups sometimes have rebelled against government policies. And the last period, we had the minister announcing there will be a freeze. That was back in January. It didn't happen.
I think it was last year.
Or was it last year?
Yeah, at the announcement of the at the presentation of the budget.
That was the last quarter. Okay, so it can happen, can't it?
No, you see, we're in a democracy, and so we're not under military that finance minister will come and say
because we're in a democracy, it makes it even more imperative for you to consult.
So that's what I'm saying.
Why do you make the announcement before you consult?
No, but you tell her, oh, this not announcement that there is.
This is a policy announcement.
He didn't say that with effect from so and so. We are suggesting that there should be a freeze. That we go to consult stakeholders.
Okay, I do understand. This very announcement, it has an effectual date, right? Yes. There's a timeline to it.
Yes.
He said this year, nothing will be done.
No, listen. He said he's going to consult that so that this year such a policy will be implemented.
Before you come out to announce it, you should have consulted with the stakeholders, especially
that is the conventional way of doing things. But we see
things have changed.
Yes, things have changed. We have to let people know. Let people know. You see, transparency. Let people know that this is the plans that I have, and this is what I'm going to consult the leadership of Labour. You see, those days are gone. Oh. We're in a new era where everybody information must be
people about what the effect is going to have on them. You just come and make your announcement and expect them to follow you.
What I'm saying, you are not. Maybe you are trying. You are just.
Okay, don't worry. My producer will try and get in touch with the labor experts.
Okay. And but what I'm saying is that the olden days where we go and consult in the dark and then come and make announcements to me is gone. We are saying that this is what we want to do, so we are going to consult labor. You see. It's a modern way of moving the country ahead.
When you are announcing the policy with time lags, you say you are not going to consult. How sure are you that within the timeline that you've set yourself, you can consult successfully and you get the agreement of the labor unions before the time that you intend implementing the policy?
Is not in,
I mean, it is only prudent that before you come out, you should have done at least started the consultation, obtained their
the timeline is not cast in iron. It is human being who set the timeline.
And so if your consultation
is amenable. By financial consultation, you cannot.
Okay. Let me
set a target.
Let me get your views on this very question. Do we all agree that the position of government is the best way to go?
On the
yes, that's
based on performance based.
Yes.
Oh, I'm all for it in principle. I have not, and I don't think my party will oppose it.
No, we're not necessarily talking about your party. We're talking about you.
No, but I'm sitting here representing the party anyway, and the people.
Well, I do understand.
I do accept it, and I believe that my people will accept it.
We understand.
In concept, we understand it, but the way they are implementing it, I mean, this SSS policy, we actually conceived it, we developed it to a level, we didn't get a chance to implement it. Daniel said we should go and rest, we were tired. We went to rest, feeling that, oh, we will have energized people, fresh minds coming in to do better job. And look at where we are. Now they are blaming every single thing on this single spine policy. And it's not like it came from the moon. They themselves implemented it. So that is why I keep asking them, what analysis did you do?
But I've told you
did you do any what do you call it? Critical analysis? Did you plan for it? Did you foresee any challenges?
I've told you that we plan with the hope that our development partners will give us 40% for the budget.
And they're not giving it because they don't trust
that money did not come from
confidence in your management.
That money did not come
they're not giving them because they don't trust them.
Yes,
they've lost confidence.
Yes.
The money didn't come because for good 8 months we were in court. The money has not come up to now for good 1 year, almost 1 year.
I thought he said
we were in court.
Giving it for the past 6 years.
No, I want to ask him a question.
As it is 2013.
It's been how many years? How many months since we came out of
court?
I'm
saying that now we have talked to them and they are going to support the budget with that 40% of the budget that we have been doing. All the budget that we have been running, we have been running for Ghanaian currency.
On Thursday,